In this video, we're going to go through the unattended challenge that is a part of the digital forensics and incident response module inside of the SOC Level 1 pathway of TryHackMe. And this is all the extra rooms that they added at the end of the DFIR module because they updated SOC Level 1. So we're going to go through this exercise and we're going to do some investigations, it seems, and get some questions answered and hopefully have some fun. Alright, so here is the intro. It says, welcome to the team, kid. I have something for you to get your feet wet. Our client has a new hired employee who saw a suspicious looking janitor exiting his office as he was about to return from lunch. I want you to investigate if there was a user activity while the user was away between 12:05 p.m. to 12:45 on the 19th of November. If there are, figure out what files were accessed and exfiltrated externally. You'll be accessing a live system, but use the disk image that's already exported in that directory for your investigation. Link to the tools that you'll need are inside of the desktop tools. And finally, I want to remind you that you signed an NDA, so avoid viewing any files classified as top secret. I don't want us to get in trouble. I really want to do this. I wonder if I do this, if I'll fail the room or something. That would be interesting. And then this is how we connect to the machine, and so on and so forth. I really want to, I really want to access all of those secret documents. But yeah, that's basically it. So we're gonna start the machine. I actually already started it, so let's see if it has already loaded for us. If not, yeah, we got a couple of minutes to go. And once that's ready, we'll jump into the actual exercise. All right, cool. This is another Windows machine that we're dealing with. It seems to be much more modern compared to the last one. If you know, you know. That was the last exercise that we did, or the last video that came out. It was a very, very old-ass Windows machine. So here is our prerequisites. It's based on Windows Forensics 1 and 2. So if you have not seen those, you would need to see those. Why can't I click on these? I wonder what's going on. So open link in new tab. That's a weird thing that I can't look at them. So Windows Forensics 1 was already done, so you should definitely be able to access that. And then also Windows Forensics 2 was done, so you should also be able to access that. And we're going to probably use some of the tools that we used inside of those. And those were also part of the original DFIR, Digital Forensics and Incident Response pathway, or a module that we did when we were doing SOC Level 1. So you'll be able to find those videos inside of the SOC Level 1 playlist that we already have. So cheat sheet is attached below, so we'll probably use this cheat sheet, which is nice and available for us. And that's basically all we got for the prerequisites of this thing, and the machine is already up. So there are task files, it seems. I don't know if I need to actually download this. Hopefully I don't, because I don't like downloading things to my local machine here, but we'll see what's going on. What we're going to end up using in this particular case is we're going to do the CAPE software, is what it seems like, because I also saw the logo right here. So let me see if we open this up, which is our tools. We have Autopsy. Actually, that's what it is. So we have Autopsy, which is the tool. And then there's CAPE right here, and an Easy Viewer and Registry Explorer. All these things are used for DFIR, Digital Forensics and Incident Response. So this is a cool room and a cool way that you can brush up on those skills if you haven't already done so. So let's first answer these couple of questions around the snooping. So let's snoop around here. Initial investigations reveal that someone accessed the user's computer during the previously specified time frame. Whoever the someone is, it's evident that they already know what to search for. That is curious. So what file type was searched for using the search bar in Windows Explorer? And what top secret keyword was searched for using the search bar in Windows Explorer? Those are our first two questions. Okay, so if we went to our cheat sheet right here, we can see that there's actually a portion for Windows Explorer address, search bars, and then these are the various the softwares that are associated with it. So the typed paths would be the path that we can search for. The word wheel query would be another thing that we can search for. that would give us the data that's associated with the Windows Explorer address and search bars. So this is what we know we need to use in order to be able to answer these two questions that we have right here. So let's go to our Windows machine and let's figure out what we're looking for here. Okay, so the first thing that we actually need to understand is that these paths that you see right here, these are registry paths. The way that this is right here, that's a registry path. What you see here is a registry. These are registries. These are technically all registry paths. So if we know that this is a registry path and this is what it would look like when we're trying to find a specific query. So let's say a search query that was done inside of Windows Explorer. What we need to do is we need to go to this specific path to try to find that item. So let's go and find it. So it's user data, yada, yada, yada. So first I'm just going to open up the registry explorer here, and I guess I'll just do the regular version. And then once we run this, we will see what we can find on this particular path. Okay, so just a quick heads up, it was actually this button at the bottom right here that's also associated with Registry Explorer. That's the one that ended up opening it for me, because the one that I tried to open was, I guess, the old version, and then the one that seems to be opening is the 1.6 version that's going on over here. So just to give you that heads up, that's what's happening, or that's what it seems like it's happening in the background, and we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for this to actually load up. Okay, so this loaded, and it took a while for it to load for me specifically because I actually clicked this button down here twice. And so it loaded 2 of the instances of the Registry Explorer. That's why it took so long. So just click it once. If you think it's not clicking, it is clicking. Just make sure you're actually inside of your browser or inside of this window when you do click it. And when you are inside of this window, just click that thing once and give it a little bit of time. If you click it twice, it'll actually load 2 instances of it, because I know sometimes we're used to double clicking or something, and you definitely don't want to do that. So just click it once, just giving you that notice. So once it does open, you want to load a hive. So you click on File, you do Load Hive, or you could do Control O. And then what you need, so you're probably going to be loaded in this environment right here. Most likely it's actually going to look like this. So it's going to be the actual local disk on the virtual machine. And then you go inside of the user that you're in, which would be this desktop that you would see right here. You go inside of this desktop, and then you'll see that there's the Cape Results folder. And inside the Cape Results folder is where we have our seed, which is the disk image that they took from the machine that was, snooped around in or whatever. And then you go inside C, you go users, THM Fedora, and then you have the user data file. And so we're gonna hold Shift when we click this. I think that's what we need to do, is we need to do this. And I think we also need to open a log file, from what I understand, in order for this to properly work. I don't remember this specific part of it. So I'm just gonna do, see if I can do, yeah, I can do both of them. So I'm just gonna do the user data, and I'm gonna open up these log files just for the hell of it. Primary, secondary, sequence numbers don't match. This means there's uncommitted data. Do you want to replay transactions against this hive? To bypass this and have logs replayed automatically, hold Shift when loading logs, which is what I think I did, or which is what I thought I did, but it wasn't doing it. So let's try to do this, I guess. Let's see if that works. Basically, I just clicked through all of the items that popped up, and I clicked yes. I think the issue was that because they don't want you to mess with any of the values, it creates a duplicate for you. So you have the data that's clean, and you have the original data file, which would be found at this thing. So let me actually go full screen with this so we can really see what's going on here. And then you can also see the full path of these 2 files that have been opened for us. So we have the actual registry, the original one, which is this piece right here that has that file. And then you have the copied version of it that is now been made, and it's called the user_dat_clean. And that would be the one ideally that you would want to find your information in and mess around with. And if you want to copy or delete or do anything like that, you would do it from the duplicated version here instead of doing it with this version. So I'm just going to close that down just so I'm not confused with anything. So now what we want to do is we actually want to find the data that we're actually supposed to be looking for. And what we want is the word wheel query, which would be the item that would actually have the results that we need. And that can be found by just searching right here. So we can do a search in this top left corner for word wheel query. So now world, because I make that mistake all the time. So word wheel query, you see that right here. And it shows up on both of these instances. Again, I'm just going to shrink this one down here. And I'll click on this one. And then now we have some fields populated on the right here. And what we need to do is we need to interpret this data, the stuff that's inside of this thing. So I can also just click on the drop down next to this to see if I can actually open this up. Doesn't seem like it can. So what I will do is I will go ahead and interpret the data that's inside of this information, because it's basically unreadable data to the naked eye, so to speak. So let's see what we can do. So when you click on this right here and you right click on this one, for example, that's what that arrow means, by the way. That means that's the field that you're selected on. It doesn't mean that it's going to open anything. So we're going to click on this, right click it, we'll do data interpreter, and it shows it right here. And then you have this piece right here that gives you the Unicode text that's associated with it, which is .pdf for this file. And then if I right click on this one and do data interpreter, it'll give me another window. And then for that window, it'll show me the Continental is the Unicode for that. So those are the two items. And what we're looking for specifically in this situation is the extension. So it would be .pdf. And there it is. That's the answer. So now it says what top secret word was searched using that. And I'm going to say that it's Continental, just as a guess right here, because that's what the other one was. Yeah, so that's basically it, right? So the word wheel was the thing that we were going to use to find the answers that we actually just found. And then from there, we just had to look at the decoder, right? Or the interpreter, I'm sorry, the data interpreter, which is the option when you right click on these pieces, these data points, and then you click on that and it opens up a new window. And what you're looking for inside of this window is under strings. And then you have the ASCII version, the Unicode version, to base 64, and then from base 64. And specifically, you want the Unicode version, which would give you the text, the output, the text, plain text format of that. And if you click on the actual hint that was available for that, it'll also show you this. So use the Registry Explorer tool to check the Windows Explorer address search bars task in Windows Forensics Room number 1. And that's exactly what we just did right now. So that was the snooping around task. So let's jump into the can't simply open it. Not surprisingly, they quickly found what they're looking for in a matter of minutes, and they seem to have hit a snag. They needed something first before they could continue. When using the autopsy tool, you can speed up the load times by selecting only recent activity when configuring the ingest settings, which just implies that's the next tool that we're going to be using. So I'm not going to close the Registry Explorer because I have a feeling that we're going to probably end up needing it in a minute. And I will reload, or I will load the autopsy tool, which is this dog that you see at the bottom right here. And we're just going to click on it once. And I see the little wheel spinning for that. So I'm just going to let that open up, and then we'll get access to our tool. All right, upon opening up autopsy, you're going to be asked for a case. So we're just going to do the case right here. And what is the name thing? We're going to call it unattended because that's the name of the room that we're in. And we're going to just go through the prompts. Base directory that you entered is not valid. Please select a valid directory. So the local disk, I'm going to go to users, and I'm just going to use my desktop for the user that I'm in. And that's going to be the user that I'm going to select for picking my items. So we're going to go here. And from here, it's going to create a file on the left side right here that's unattended. And optional information, none of these things are really important because we don't have an actual case examiner or an investigator. So we could just create and wait for this thing to load. It's going to create our database. And then from there, we're going to be able to add our data source. So once that previous load is done, you'll get this load right here for adding a data source. And you can just leave this option on the first one for select host. There's going to be a select, create a new host name. And then you go to the next one, and we're looking for the logical file. So instead of disk image, local disk, so on and so forth, we're going to create a file, or we're going to load our data from a logical file. And once you click on that, the next thing that you're going to be able to do is choose the location of the file, which is going to be inside of the local file and folders, which is essentially inside of the same exact thing that we had. So it's going to be in the CAPE results, inside of the C, and what we're going to look for is the, let me see specifically which one it is. I think it should be the entire C folder, because it's the entire image itself. So I will do the C right here, and you just leave it as C, and then you do that, and then that should be fine. So let me see if that actually works. Yeah, so instead of going inside of the actual C folder, you just click on the C folder and you do select, and that'll load the entire C folder right here. So you don't need to go inside of the C folder, just click on it and then do select, and it'll add the full thing for you. So that's the piece right there. And then we're going to move on to the actual configure ingestion part of it. And that's the part where right here, it told us when you want to speed up your load times, only do recent activity when configuring the ingest settings. So only recent activity. So I'm going to deselect all of these things, and I'm just going to click on recent activity just to save time. And then from there, we're going to do next, and that should be all good. And I'm going to click finish, and that should give me all the data that I need. And I feel like I do need to give you this extra note as well. So there's an bar right here, a progress bar, that says what percentage it's at with its loading. And then you can see under the data artifacts, it shows very slowly, but it'll load piece by piece. The more the data loads, you'll see more items come under the data. There we go. It just populates under the data artifacts. And you just need to give this piece some time to finish. Once that's finished, you'll have access to all the data. And there you go. Actually, while I was talking, it just finished. So the question that's asking us to do is what was downloaded, right? So that's the question that's asking in this first piece is what's the name of the downloaded file that came to the downloads folder? So if we actually, let's look at the hint as well. So it says use autopsy to look at the web downloads artifact. So there we go. So the web downloads artifact is this piece right here. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to show me all of these things that have been downloaded. And then what I'm looking for is the downloaded folder. Now the issue here is that there's a lot of things inside the downloaded folder, but what we do know is that there was something searched for. So there was a keyword that was searched for, and that was continental. So continental.7z seems to be the file that might be of interest to us. So let's try that out. Continental.7z. That's not it. So let me see. I think it's continental though. It has to do with continental. So let's see what else we can find. Okay, so looking at this series of data that came over here, we know that we're looking for something between the times of 12:05, I believe. What was the, let me verify. But it's a specific time, right? So between 12:05 and 12:45 is the data that we're looking for. So we have everything from this point right here to this point right here seems to be of interest. And it's on what day? On the 19th. Actually, that's not even what I'm doing. So that's actually incorrect. So if I come to the 19th right here, between 12:05, and that's literally the only item right here actually. So 12:09, and that's the only item that's on the 19th. So that is this item. So 7Z2201, yada, yada, yada. So that's the actual item itself. And that will most likely be the specific item that we're looking for. So I'm going to take that name and I'm going to go and copy paste it over there. So let's go and get that data, and you'll be able to find it under data artifacts. And you can probably actually double click on that as well, but under data artifacts, nope, I can't highlight that. So I'm just going to double click this to see if I can open the file. Okay, so I can't double click the file either. So I don't want to say that I need to open this and download it or whatever it is, right? So let's see if we right click it, maybe that's what it is. So if I right click it and I look at the file details, maybe that'll give me some clickable information, and it does. And let me see if I can maybe right click this. Can I open this? I can't open that. Can I right click this? I cannot open either of those items. This is so frustrating. I don't want to manually type this. This is so annoying. Okay, all my attempts have failed, which means I need to manually type this thing. So if you find out how you can copy and paste from this, please drop it in the comment section, because I am so annoyed right now that I was not able to do that. So 7z2201x64.exe is the name of the file. I had to open it up in a new window so I can type it. Don't think I have a great memory, because I really don't. Okay, so now let's go here. Actually, I do have a pretty decent memory. I shouldn't talk smack about myself like that. Okay, so when was the file from the previous question downloaded? So that is the information that we actually were able to find by just looking through our data the way that we did. And maybe I can finally get that piece, right? So if I do view item in new window, maybe I can actually find the date itself, which is right here, and this is the UTC. I can't highlight that either. This is so annoying. Okay, all right, fine. God, I have to manually type everything. This is okay, so here we go. All right, there you go. Man, it's so annoying when you're so used to copy pasting. I'm gonna stop complaining. All right, so here we go. That was the date, and it's basically the date that has been associated with the download itself right here. You can see it in this section. 22/11/19, 12/09/19 is when that thing was downloaded. So now, thanks to the previously downloaded file, a PNG was opened. And when was that file opened? So we know we're looking for an image file, which is a PNG, and it says you can filter by file extension via the Registry Explorer tool. So see, that's why I did not close the Registry Explorer. I knew we were gonna need it again. So, okay, so what we need is now to find the PNG file. So if I just do .png, maybe we can find something in that regard. And we do have file extensions right here and recent documents that are available. So if I click on the .png, it says there are no items inside of it, and then recent documents.png, there is one item inside of it. Maybe these might be the items that we're looking for. And we're looking for the date. So it's 22/11/19, 12/10/21. That would probably be the date and time. So let's see, 22/11/19, 12/10/21. Yeah, okay, that's it. We didn't need to open the file or anything. We just needed the date that's associated with it. And it's right there on the left column in this left section for that .png file. So there we go. We got that done. So now we're going to look at this last series of questions because there's no question for the conclusion. So sending it outside. They've hit the jackpot and now preparing to exfiltrate data outside the network. There is no way to do it via USB. So what is their other option? I'm assuming that they would send it out. They would email it out probably, or download it to a website or something of that sort. So text file was created in the desktop folder. How many times was this file opened? When was the text file from the previous question last modified? The contents of the file were exfiltrated to paste bin. So what is the generated URL of the exfiltrated data, and what is the string that was copied to the paste bin URL? And that's the data that we got. So the hint says check out the machine's jump lists using the JLECMD EXE tool. The jump list is what we're going to be looking through inside of that data file. So let's actually go and see what we can find. So it is, based on the name of the file, it does say CMD. So I'm assuming it's a command line tool. So let me see, what do we have here? We have JLEC CMD, and then here it is. So if I open it, it's probably going to open up the command line, and we would need to use it as such. If not, we can run the command line itself and open it up that way. But I think it's a command line tool, so it should open up the terminal window for us. Yeah, so it briefly opened a terminal window and it closed because it was saying that there was something wrong with the Smart Screen app, I guess. So I'm going to open up CMD. We'll run it as an admin just to give ourselves some extra privileges, or like full privileges here. What we need to do is we need to go into the tools folder that we have to be able to get access to the JLEC CMD. So I'm inside the Windows directory. So let's go into C, which is our root directory, and let's see what's inside of here. We do have tools inside of here. Let me actually zoom in for you a little bit so you can see what's happening. And so we do have the tools folder that's inside of the C folder right here. And inside of the tools folder, there should be the JLEC. So there we go, JLEC CMD. Now I've never used this before. So let me see if there's like a help menu or something that I can use. Okay, so there we go. JLEC MD-H will bring the help menu for you. And what we're trying to do is we're gonna, I guess, process because all the options here, there's nothing in regards to a jump list as far as I can see. So I'm guessing that we want to search through the entirety of what we got, which is a directory. So we have a directory that we want to recursively process, which means that we want to look at everything inside of that directory. And this or F is required. So it's either one of these two that's actually a required option that we need to do. So I'm just going to choose directory, and I'm going to give it the path of this particular directory, which is going to be the CAPE results, and then inside of CAPE results there was C, right? So if we went to let me see what just happened. The whole thing freaking, this is another thing that I don't like about Windows. Okay, cool. So what I want to do is I want to just get the path of that specific file or that folder, which is going to be inside of our local disk. And inside of the local disk, we had the users, and then we have the THM Fedora, desktop, CAPE results, and then C. That's where it is. That's the full directory path right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from, so I'm going to do first and foremost, what was our command right here is JLEC. So we'll do JLEC. Let's zoom in one more time. And let's just keep that at the top right there so we can see where that full path is. So we're going to do JLEC, JLEC MD, excuse me. So JLEC MD, we're going to assign a directory, and then we need to give it the full path of the directory. So it's going to be C, it's going to be users, and it's going to be THM R Fedora, and then it's going to be the desktop of R Fedora. And inside of that, it's going to be the CAPE results, and then it's going to be C. And that should be it from what I understand. It says that the text file was created in the desktop folder. So instead of searching through the entire thing, I want to find the desktop folder. So it's going to be C, users, and then we have THM Fedora again, and then we have the desktop. Okay, so that's what it is. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add those extra elements to the end of our search command right here. So C, and then we're going to do the / one more time, and then users, THM R Fedora again, and then desktop again. And that would be our full path. So we're going to run that now. And that's going to run for whatever we want. So let's see what we can find over here. Okay, so that didn't give me anything. And I'm just going to remove the desktop. And let's see what else can potentially be found. Okay, that gave us much more results. And now what we're looking for is a text file that was created on their desktop. So let's see. Okay, here we go. It says entry number 1, but I had to scroll quite a ways down from the top of all of the results that we got. And this is the only text file that I found. So it's launchcode.txt that we see over here. And it says interaction count is 2. So let's try 2. I think that might be it. Okay, cool, yeah. So how many times it was opened? It was 2 times, and this is the only txt file or at least it's the first TXT file that I found. I didn't even go through all of the results, but that was really the only one. Everything else seems to just be directories. And from here, we can probably move on because everything prior to that had some kind of an extension. So there was the launch code TXT, and then there was PDF files and PNG files and so on and so forth. But that was the only thing that actually was a TXT file. Okay, cool. When was the text file from the previous question last modified? And I need to go back and find it again to find the modification date. I should not have scrolled all the way. All right, so let me go find them one more time. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay, cool. Last modified is this right here. So let's copy that. Let's see if that'll copy paste. Cool, it did. Did it copy paste? Did it work? Okay, maybe not. Okay, got it. See, again, I made another formatting mistake. They want the hour, minute, and then month, date, year like that. So 11/19, 2022. There we go. All right, cool. The contents of the file were exfiltrated to pastebin. What is the generated URL of the exfiltrated data? So let's see what that hint is. Use autopsy, check the IE edge history of the target machine. So let's go to autopsy and let's look at the IE edge of the target machine here. Inside of autopsy, we have the web history, which has 160 items on it. And the piece that we want to make sure that we do is the date that's been adjusted so that we can actually find everything that's for 11/19 between 12:05 and 12:45. So here we go, 11/19, and let's go find 12:05 to 12:45, which is this chunk of data. So 12:09, and then it runs to 12:12. So this is it, and then we see that we have pastebin right here, and what we want is the specific URL. And so if I do pastebin, I think these are the only two items for pastebin. And if I look under paste or data artifacts under pastebin, I should be able to find the data that I'm looking for. So let's see, maybe there's a column here. All right, there's no column for the artifact itself. I'm just going to open these up inside of a new window, and we're going to look for the data artifacts section to see what we can find for our actual link. Okay, actually it's literally right in front of my face. I was just looking at the two other items. It's right here, 11/19, 12/12/55 is the timestamp on it. Pastebin, 1FQ, so on and so forth. And it's also right down here at the bottom right here. So let me see if there's a way that I can copy and paste this somehow. Okay, can't copy paste. So we're going to type it out manually like we are somehow a peasant or something. This pastebin.com. All right, there we go. What is the string that was copied to the pastebin URL? So in this pastebin URL, there's a string. This seems to be the string. I cannot type that manually. This is going to drive me crazy. Do I need to type this manually? Okay, so just because I'm stubborn, I exported the file. So exported the selected row to CSV. And then inside of our project file on the desktop, there's actually something that is assigned to exports. So if I go inside of this unattended project file that we had here, go to export, we have this web history CSV file. And that CSV file is now going to be opened, and I'm going to get the item that I am looking for, which is that string. And then I'm just going to copy this string. Look at that. Look how easy that looks. And then boom, and then boom, and we come here and we paste it. And just like that, like a boss, because I'm not manually typing this. Are you crazy? All right, there we go. We're done. Ha! And that is it for this particular exercise. We are officially wrapped with this unattended exercise that we just did. So congratulations for sticking it out. Hopefully you learned something exciting from it and you were able to answer the questions that I got answers to, and you got the same answers, so on and so forth, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. If you did indeed find this information useful, I do encourage you to look out for the rest of the content that we have on this channel. And of course, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. And drop a comment. The comment section is totally lit, especially since I dropped my face. Apparently, people actually really liked it. And somebody even, so nice, look at this. They said that I'm their favorite YouTuber. That's so nice. That's so heartwarming and endearing to hear. I genuinely love it. But, you know, there's questions that people ask. I answer the questions all the time. If there's a really, really good question, I'll create a video in response to your question. And there's a handful of videos that I still owe you guys. I know I haven't forgotten about them. I promise I will get you those videos because it's important to me to get the content that you guys actually need. So that's what is going on currently with this particular channel. So like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out. And of course, drop a comment if you have a question. I will respond to your questions. If it's a good one, I'll create a video in response to your question. And if you have not already checked out Hackaholics Anonymous, I do encourage you to check out the Hackaholics Anonymous membership community. This is one of my babies. This is something that I've worked on for a very long time, and I'm constantly working on it. And there is a really dope download called the PenTesting Manual that I created for our members. That is a very awesome document that people actually love so far, and we're constantly updating it. So that's something that's going to be a big one. And there's just exclusive content. There's member lives that we do together. There's the Discord chat. There's bug bounties that I teach, as well as giving people the opportunity to go and make money, and we collaborate. Hopefully we'll be able to collaborate on one of them together. There's Python downloads for automations in cybersecurity and system administration. There's a lot of stuff. And I do recommend that you check it out. If you don't want to watch this 15-minute video or 14-minute video, then all you got to do is click on that read more button, and then it'll load the video for you. And then in the description, you'll get the description of everything that we got going on, assuming all these ads finish loading. Everything shows in the description of what you would get. So if you just want to be a cyber supporter, I sincerely appreciate all of the supporters. It would mean a lot to me for you to be a supporter, and I cherish you as much as everybody else that's in our advanced community as well. So everybody from the supporter to the cyber master, it is my honor and a privilege and absolute pleasure to have you be a part of the Hackaholics Anonymous community. I would love to see you in the Discord chats, and I would love to see you inside of that community. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker / protector. Love, peace, and chicken grease. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you, and I will see you in the next video. Later.